Kia ora everybody, Louise here in Auckland, New Zealand, and it's Thursday and I'm outside the Symonds St Cemetery here, and I'm going to take you for a little walk into the Jewish corner. So thanks for joining me. Let me just turn the camera. Oops, sorry. Let's do it this way. Oh, back. There we go. Okay, the Jewish cemetery. I am surrounded by birds. Actually, I'm going to take my mask off because I think I'm clearer. Look at all the birds. They are so hungry because there's nobody here feeding them scraps and sandwiches. They're looking for something to eat. Well, I don't have anything with me. And I'd rather feed the seagulls than the pigeons anyway. But let us walk into the Jewish corner of the Symonds St Cemetery today. So today I'm only live on YouTube. It is Thursday morning here in New Zealand. Symonds St Cemetery is really, really big, but right here in the corner we have the Jewish section. So this land was set aside in 1842 when they applied for a cemetery, the Jewish families that had recently arrived here. And it says by sad coincidence the first burial took place was of Catherine, David Nathan's daughter. This is what the area looked like in those days. When this land was set aside for a cemetery, this was countryside. This was not the city. Now the city's grown up around it, and it is in a city. It's not used for burials any longer, but it's an historic place, so it is pretty good area to come for a walk. A lot of history in here, a lot of beauty as well. Have a look at a couple of these. Really lovely. Oh, the birds are all following me. There they go. Good, they've gone to they've gone to that tree over there. Wow. The gates are fabulous. So there are two sets of gates like this. So this is looking out to Karaka Road. And now we're looking up to the Symonds St intersection here. Beautiful old trees. The ivy needs to grow back over the wall. Roses have been planted throughout the cemetery, so if you love roses, it's a good place to come and have a look when they start to bloom. And these have been planted quite recently, although there is an old rose trail as well. Let's have a look at some of these graves. Then we're going to head down to the Rock and Roll Wall of Fame down there. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches and loving favour, rather than silver and gold. Proverbs 22. So there's quite a few prominent families in here, as you can see by the size of the headstones and the memorials that are here. There's the Rock and Roll Wall of Fame down there. We'll head down and have a look at Dusty in a minute. This is the Nathan family plot. Although there are Nathans buried outside, that's a Nathan there as well. But these are really quite significant. These early families set up breweries and department stores and trading companies here in Auckland. I'm not sure about the rest of the country, but definitely here in Auckland, the families are still here. And And of course, while the European settlers came in, they were all getting into farming and building and doing stuff, and these people were trading. So the detail's amazing, like these iron fences have just been left to rust away. They're pretty cool. White tiles here. There's 3 here exactly the same. I'm loving the moss. Louise Enfried. Now they had the brewery, something in Ehrenfried. Yes, Campbell, I think it was Campbell and Ehrenfried. Hey, thanks for joining, you guys. That's awesome. The old mortuary was right here on this corner as well. Samuel Yates, Albert Rudolph Levi, Lawrence Arthur Levi. Oh, look. Now, interestingly enough, I did a walking tour through here quite a few years ago with the Historical Society, and everybody that did the walking tour, we were all intrigued by this one, which appears to be, I'll just zoom in for you, it appears to be broken off at the top. Because it's quite rough. But the tour guide at that time explained to us that it meant a life cut short. So that is in reference to the Lewises. And these are their infant sons. So they had 3 little boys, and they died in 1889, and 2 of them died in 1893 at different times. One in January and one in May. So I think we understand why it says a life cut short. Hey you guys, thank you. Welcome to Aotearoa, New Zealand. Nice to see you. I'm going to be finishing in a moment. We're just going to head down to, we'll have a look at this one over here, and then we're heading down to the Rock and Roll Wall of Fame. Very appropriate. This is quite magnificent. It's like a whole building. Wow. So we are in lockdown here in Auckland at the moment. We're allowed out for exercise, so I'm getting my exercise walking around and talking to you. Whee! That's good. The old picket fence there around that one. We've got an Italian cypress tree here. Going on behind the fence. There's another rose planted here. The roses are just, it's blooming. Look at that. How lovely. Early rose. Very brave one. Okay. More Nathans. Catherine and Miriam. Let us head this way. Buses are still operating, most of them running around with nobody on board. There we go, we're just heading down here to the Rock and Roll Wall of Fame. Let's give you a little 360 from here. But thanks very much for joining me. Just a little wander through. We've got the Karaka Tree here. Beautiful, look at this. seeds are just beginning to form on it. Really gorgeous. These will grow big and they'll be black and they'll be red, or they'll be green and they'll be black and they'll be red. They are poisonous at one stage. They need to be, if you wanted to eat them, you need to boil them. Okay, we're heading down here. So this is the Rock and Roll Wall of Fame, and when a musician dies, Paul X. Walsh does a fabulous mural here for us. So here we go, we've got Dusty Hill. It is pretty gorgeous. So there's Paul up there, Paul X. Walsh, if you want to check him out for some more work. 1949 to 2021. Amazing detail here. You can see the studs around his hat. The teeth, it's amazing. It's really, the detail is, for such a large piece, the detail's really incredible. You can almost look into his eyes. So very fitting here in the Jewish part of the Symonds St Cemetery that we have our Rock and Roll Wall of Fame. It has changed quite often over the last few years, because we have had quite a few deaths in the music industry. So for now, Dusty is here. We can never guess who's going to replace him. So let me do a little 360 here. Just we're on Karaka Tree Road, the Symonds St Cemetery. Our weather is not too bad. It's looking, the sun is out, the sun is up there. We're looking a bit grey in this direction, and then behind me it's nice blue sky. So it's going to be one of those spring days. So I just want to say thank you very, very much. Oh, what's this here? 100 years. There we go. Very nice. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I'm not going to turn the camera to say to say goodbye. We're just going to finish looking through there. Thank you so much for joining me. That's really, really awesome. Or maybe I should just turn it. Hey, thanks very much. I better put my mask on. I'm going to head out on the street again. Thank you so much for watching, and let me just turn the camera again. There we go. Thank you, and I will see you all later. Kia ora and ka kite, and thank you so much. Okay, bye for now.